You don't need to flip your life upside down to create something meaningful. In today's world, living fully is often portrayed as a highlight reel. Quitting your job, globe-trotting endlessly, building million-dollar empires, or becoming a social media icon. That narrative is compelling, but it's also misleading. Living a truly fulfilling life doesn't hinge on dramatic moves. It rests on the quiet consistency of becoming who you already are, beneath the noise. The real measure of a life well lived isn't magnitude, it's meaning. And meaning often begins in the smallest of moments. How we speak to a friend when they're down, how we treat ourselves in solitude, how we bring our own essence into the work we do. It starts with presence, not performance. I've come to believe that the most powerful lives are those lived in alignment, not ambition. That alignment often begins by tapping into the resources that already exist within you, your curiosity, your ability to care, your desire to create. A meaningful life isn't made through what you acquire, but through what you refine and express. Take, for example, the Japanese concept of Ikigai, which roughly translates to reason for being. It doesn't push you toward fame or fortune. It asks only that you explore what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. The magic is found in the overlap. Let's explore 3 timeless principles that shape a life of depth and originality. 1. Look within before you reach out. So often we chase external accomplishments hoping they'll satisfy inner restlessness, but transformation begins in the opposite direction. Consider the story of Emily Dickinson. She rarely left her home. She didn't seek acclaim. And yet, from the confines of her quiet life, she wrote poetry that would stir hearts across centuries. Her introspection became her inspiration. Her inner world was rich enough to sustain and express something profound. You can't plant seeds in soil you haven't tended. The same is true for your creative spirit. If you don't understand your own emotions, motivations, and fears, how can you hope to speak meaningfully into the lives of others? Reflection is the soil where originality grows. Begin by creating space in your day to listen, not to the world, but to your own mind. Ask, what have I been avoiding emotionally? What thoughts do I circle back to every day? What experiences have shaped me and what lessons still linger there? You don't need a retreat in the mountains to do this, just a few quiet minutes and an honest conversation with yourself. As your self-awareness sharpens, so too does your clarity about how to move through the world with integrity. Life stops being something that happens to you and becomes something you actively shape. 2. Cultivate relentless curiosity. The wisest people aren't those with the most answers, but those who never stop asking better questions. Pablo Picasso once said, "Computers are useless. They can only give you answers." That may sound strange, but consider the meaning: answers close doors, questions open them. The most creative thinkers, across disciplines and generations, have always shared one trait. They never stop exploring. They don't settle into comfort zones. They investigate patterns, contradictions, and possibilities. Maria Popova, the mind behind The Marginalian, has spent years curating and commenting on the ideas of thinkers across history. She doesn't claim to be a genius. She just asks relentlessly curious questions and follows the thread. Being a student of life doesn't require credentials or classrooms. It requires wonder. Read books that challenge your worldview. Study people whose ideas confuse you. Learn from fields far from your own. Curiosity connects dots that logic alone cannot. Even Einstein once admitted, "I have no special talents, I am only passionately curious." Don't just seek knowledge, chase understanding. And when that understanding matures into insight, share it, because someone out there might be waiting for the question you dared to ask. 3. Turn practice into purpose. All the introspection and learning in the world mean little if they aren't grounded in something you do consistently, something you choose to master. True greatness doesn't emerge in flashes of brilliance. It's the result of steady, focused refinement. Think of a sculptor slowly chipping away at stone, revealing what was always hidden underneath. This is how mastery works: slowly, quietly, persistently. Brian Eno, the pioneer of ambient music, didn't set out to change an entire genre. He simply followed what fascinated him, creating sounds that gave listeners space to think and breathe. He committed to his craft, and in doing so, carved out a whole new creative domain. Whatever your interest, storytelling, design, teaching, engineering, ask yourself, can I see myself doing this 10 years from now? Do I enjoy the process even when no one's watching? Would I still do it if I never got paid for it? If the answer is yes, or even maybe, you've found a starting point. Now turn that spark into structure, build habits around it, take courses, find mentors, practice deliberately, and most importantly, create not just to be seen, but to serve. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more signal. More people who've committed to a single idea long enough to turn it into something beautiful and useful. That's how you move from talent to impact. That's how your work becomes your contribution. In the end, designing a life of originality isn't about chasing what's new. It's about returning to what's true. Look within to understand who you are. Stay curious to keep discovering who you could be, and commit to a craft so that who you are becomes what you give to others. You don't need to be famous, you don't need to be followed, you just need to be faithful to your voice, your values, and your vision. So ask yourself, what's the thing I would still be doing if no one ever noticed? That may just be the beginning of your life's masterpiece.